Hello and welcome to Champion Reviews. I'm Joe here with me is my co-host Dan.
Hello and greetings, and today we watched Blade, the Vampire Hunter.
I wish I'd been watching the Blade trilogy instead. I'm just saying this episode.
I actually enjoyed it.
I found it boring.
There was a few Hammer references.
Yeah, because the theater that Blade is staying in is playing the Terence Fisher 1958, I think, Hammer original Dracula. But this episode has Morbius still strong from having absorbed Flash Thompson's strength. Flash is recovering, unlike the other victims, because he's apparently in better shape than them. And he didn't get a full drain on Flash, unlike the rest. I imagine he probably could have killed Flash Thompson, but
yes,
his intent was there. Now Morbius becomes a cackling lunatic in this episode. Okay, yes. More than usual. Blade comes to Spider-Man's rescue when he's getting kind of drained. MJ throughout the episode is cheating on Peter, then decides to use Felicia's brokenheartedness as an excuse. Because, it's best to break up with Peter, claiming that Peter's never there for her. And when Peter comes in, he's very evidently very sick and pale. But she snips at him with better late than never, I suppose. Huh. Yeah, you know what, woman? Like, you're one to talk. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to go off on this version of MJ. I hate her. Like, she's such... No wonder... Like, no offense, but she deserves Hydrant Man.
Some of her writing at times seemed very bipolar.
Very? Ha! It's always consistently bad in the series.
In Hydra Man...
It was passable. Okay, fine.
But a lot of times it's...
Every other episode, it seems like it's trash.
Yes, she's like this very... Yeah, big damn... Come on.
That's not MJ. Or she's busy trashing Peter. Like, the man comes in, not even walking, but dragging himself in, looking half dead, and even sags into his seat, which you've got to bear in mind, Peter is very healthy, and he sags into his seat with a minor moan of pain and tells her, sorry. Like, it's like the dude is basically dying right next to you, and you snipe at him and verbally abuse him. I guess the apple didn't fall far from her physically and verbally abusive father of a tree.
It's like, at least in the comics, even if she made a wisecrack, it would be...
She was never cruel about it.
It would have been more like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like, she cracked fart jokes, all sorts of puns and various snippy jokes to an extent, but never in
cruelly.
Yeah. Now Terry Lee is after Spider-Man's blood in this episode, which makes sense given the Man-Spider incident. I'm just saying.
And she does need to do her job. She is a clean cop.
And Spider-Man has been looking pretty shady lately.
So
from her angle. Like, I'm just looking from her point of view.
She comments that she wants him in for questioning.
But she doesn't need to put the cuffs on him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's reasonable. Even Peter understands, yeah, okay. Now Terry goes after him, like, you've been gone for weeks. You were Spider-Man's prisoner, and you were taking photos of him. Well, why can't you get in contact with him these days? You know, Peter, since I was a prisoner, like, because you got to bear in mind, that's his cover story. He was taken prisoner by the Man-Spider like the Punisher was. And that's where, like, the fact that excuse doesn't even faze MJ in this series. Like, oh, sorry. Sorry, babe. I know I missed a few dates, but it's just I was nearly eaten alive by a giant spider. That's not good enough. You should have told me you'd be out for dinner then. Like, what? What? Like,
this is one of the worst portrayals of
she's as nutty as Gwen at times.
it's like this is one of the worst portrayals of Mary Jane. Pardon for the Freudian slip.
Betrayal.
Yes.
Yeah, like, honestly, in the comics, MJ's not... Okay, yeah, she cheated on Harry a few times with Peter.
But who could blame her?
Yeah. Harry was a nutball. And Peter cheated on Gwen repeatedly.
I mean,
with MJ.
who could blame him?
Yeah. And here's the thing. They were always in love with each other. And she never made it to third base with Harry because, well, he's nuts. And he was on drugs. And Peter never made it to third base with Gwen because she's nuts and she was sleeping with Norman. When she wasn't with Miles Warren.
Confirmed in the classical comics. This isn't just
Sins past because we know for a fact she slept with Miles Warren.
And the scenes in Sins Past was you know what? We could cover that.
Like, well, I don't know if they were actually taken from the original comics. I don't think they were. But there were a lot of times when she was found at Norman's mansion alone with Norman. So one could, yeah.
Anyways, we're focused on Blade.
Blade is not as cool as in the comics or the movie. Now, I'm just saying, in those portrayals, he would listen to Spider-Man a bit more, even on their first encounter almost. And he is a lot more level-headed and cool-headed. I would have liked to have seen the shade, like the Wesley Snipes type comic book Blade who wears the shades, drops those badass Qui-Gon Jinn or Obi-Wan Kenobi style one-liners at times. Well, maybe not Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Anakin Skywalker almost. One-liners, and like with his katana, and whom it's you could have created conflict between that Blade and Spider-Man without making Blade look like a lunatic. Yeah. But that said, at least in the latter half of the episode, Blade doesn't exactly shine like he does in the comics, but he does start to act with a bit more intelligence after him and Whistler go to bed together, bickering like a married couple. I'm kidding.
And we see Blade's like, yeah, since we're dealing with Morbius, let me teach you a bit on how to track people like Morbius out.
Yeah, the next episode, though, is better than this one.
Oh, yeah.
How would you rate this one? I'd rate this one like a quarter. Maybe a quarter star. I hate this episode. It's probably my least favorite episode.
1.5.
It's below average.
Yeah, it's like I really enjoyed Blade and his backstory.
Yeah, okay, that part was good.
But the ladies bring it down.
Oh, yeah. Well, Aunt May wasn't so bad in here.
Yeah, it's very accurate to...
Neither was Terry Lee. I like Terry Lee in this episode.
Yeah.
Terry Lee in this duology is solid. So if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment.